1031 exchange it refers to the IRS code. It's 1031 in the IRS code, which refers to investment property or business property, and allows someone who has investment or business property to defer a capital gain event by doing a like-kind exchange. However, it has really strict deadlines and really strict like-kind exchange language that has to be complied with. When we look at doing a 1031 exchange, we want to make sure before the sale date, because after the sale date, you have 45 days from that sale date to choose a replacement property. Then you have 180 days after that sale date to then close on that new property. And all the while, you aren't allowed to touch the money. If you touch the money, you've invalidated that transfer. So you have to work with a qualified intermediary to make sure that that money goes from the first transaction to the like-kind exchange directly without touching your hands. That's how a 1031 generally works. A 1031 can be very important and well used in estate planning purposes because a 1031 defers that capital gain event, which upon the passing of that owner, the 1031 allows that deferment of capital gain, and then the new owner to take the step up in basis, which essentially would eliminate the capital gain potentially altogether at that point. Other things that we can utilize for 1031 is just for growth. As long as the property grows, your potential capital gain is going to grow. So if we're deferring that and growing it into larger, better properties, we can kind of kick that down the road. Now, one of the things we need to pay attention to are those deadlines. They're very strict, as well as the like-kind exchange. It's an apples to apples transaction. We can't do apples to oranges. So you really should utilize a professional in trying to figure out what is an apple to apple versus what is an apple to an orange. Also, we can't use this for residential purposes. There's a whole different statutes for that, but not for 1031. Again, this is just business or investment property. And after the sale occurs, there are other investment vehicles that can be utilized, but not a 1031, unless you have already put in place that 1031 transaction with a qualified intermediary, and that closing the money has not been transferred to you. Now, one of the other caveats with a 1031 exchange is maybe you find a property that doesn't fill out that entire like-kind exchange property that you wanted to replace. Instead, say it's a lesser value, or you could only find one versus a couple of similar like values. Well, any money that does touch your hands would then become taxable at capital gains. It's called the boot. So we want to make sure we avoid the boot. We want to make sure that we're sticking to deadlines, and we're make sure we're picking like-kind apple-to-apple transactions.